Arab imperialism.
I'm dyslexic, so I read sentences backwards because I have Welsh in me. I'm Italian Welsh, so Welsh is this way also. So somewhere when I was younger, I used to write sentences backwards. So I was wondering if a lot of people that are dyslexic and that, do they have this function that is the opposite way in their brain?
Yeah.
Because when you have a stroke, if you're at hospital and that, this side of your brain dies, this part of your body goes.
Yes.
So when the two languages, when I was in Morocco for like 3 months, if everyone's speaking Arabic very quickly, I understand some words, but I can't speak fluent. I can say hello and like salam alaikum, la besbeke, alhamdulillah, reply, and I can ask for my food and do things like that. But when I come back to England, this part of my brain gets headache because everyone's speaking English.
Yeah,
and then when I go back there, I get headache for 3 days here. So it was physically affecting my biology. And I feel if you're born in an Arab-speaking country,
naturally you'll have an advantage.
You're constantly feeding your body this way. And if you're born in an English-speaking country, you're constantly feeding energy to this side of your body. So I find us quite alien from each other physically. And I think that's why a lot of people say we don't fear our policies are opposites, because they're physically opposite.
But here's the thing, I think the way you have seen it because of your experience, your body may be interpreting things in a certain way. Perception. That's what it is. Because the Arabic of the Quran goes both ways. Yeah, it's there.
It's in English as well. Yeah.
That's the translation for those that can't read it in the Arabic. But even like initially when I was saying, if you even put it on YouTube, if you find it difficult to follow along the transliteration, then what you could do is, as they're saying it, you can pause it and just repeat it.
Even the Google Translate over there, I'd be writing with quite a lot of the guest house owners. They don't speak English, and I learnt the Arabic now to communicate with them. But when we write on the phone, they write one word and the whole English sentence would change to a completely different topic just from one word. So I think when we're trying to communicate through the phones and that, like a lot of the language is deep rooted in frequency.
What did you say your name was?
Rosie.
Rosie.
Warda.
Okay. Okay. So, Rosie, do you believe, when you say God, you believe God to be an energy? Putting that on ice for a second, do you believe God created everything?
Islam is dying.
I see art that evolves, so I think everything kind of evolves at the same time, but it has the same sub when it goes back to foundations and things. Like when I create a painting, you could have the sun or the moon or the light source here, then it goes that way, then you have it there. So,
but everything on that canvas requires a brush stroke and requires a hand that's consciously guiding that brush. You can't expect to start it off and then it just continues. Do you see?
I have a 3 and I'll paint over there, then go back to that bit, then paint over there, then go back to that bit. And I see this world has a similar thing, like you'll go over there and do something, but you'll come back to this point. And there's more points sometimes that are busier and more layered.
You believe God created everything?
Everyone has a different perception of God, and I think it's.
What about you? What's your understanding? Because remember we were talking about perception. Like I want to know what, at this moment in time, the accumulation of Rosie's experience of life, where has she reached?
I can only move around and this is a beautiful scene for me, I'd like to paint that. Or like I can walk around and see the Sahara guys. There was one guy I was drawn to in Morocco and his face. I just wanted to paint his face because I could see that he spent so much time out in the Sahara and it had moulded the way his eyes moved, and so I could see the language of the years of Sahara in his face, and I wanted to paint it.
Wow.
So it's like, for me, I don't know.
That's
what
very
that spark
insightful.
is. You know, like it could be a homeless person.
But here's the thing, Rosie, because I've experienced it. For example, if we are to sketch this landscape as an artist, because you're consciously drawing every detail on that canvas.
It's always in the detail.
Do you see? And you're aware of every detail. And when you look at the detail, you're aware more so that when you look at the intricacies of life, naturally the conclusion is this cannot have come by chance.
It's woven.
It's woven. And just like a canvas requires a painter, a car requires a driver, shop requires a shopkeeper.
There's a duality in parallels. There's parallelism.
All of this design requires a designer. Especially as an artist, I would say you, compared to the other people, would definitely see that. Yeah? So you would say that based upon all the design that you've seen, it's not chance, is it? Not random.
But I can sit and I can feel and get along with a lot of Muslims. like I haven't drank alcohol for 9 years. So I went over to Morocco because I like horses. I was with a lot of the Amazigh.
But why is that? Why did you choose not to drink alcohol?
Because I drank before my dad passed away. He was in London. He worked a lot of his life and worked too much and then drank too much to enjoy himself. Because a lot of people work a lot here and they go to the pub with their family and they want to relax and they switch off.
Yes.
And they need to slow down because it causes
And he passed
cancer.
away?
When he was 38, he died, yeah.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, so for me, I drank a little bit. I worked here for 10 years in Covent Garden, in and out, and I just stopped. And some of my friends now are asking me for help, and I think the NHS is a big problem. But you have the NHS in many places, and it's to do with money and things like that. And sometimes people haven't got the time to come out and refix themselves. So for me, I had my art, I had horses. So they say, well, how did you stop drinking? I say,
What was the work that you're doing in Covent Garden by interest?
I did some art shows for the BBC and stuff.
Oh, you were still doing art,
I
yeah?
fell out with them.
Well, I'm not surprised.
I did it on mental health because I've had 9 friends die from suicide.
Really?
And,
No way.
Yeah, just around COVID and stuff.
What did you pick up? What was the theme in their suicide?
It was because they had to sign on to benefits and things like that because when they did COVID and the jabs, they shut down a lot of our festivals and places we gather. So a lot of them end up living in vans and the people that run the tents had to go to the universities to set up stages to do jabs and stuff. So a lot of them lost their business. And,
So their life was their business and their leisurely activities, would you say? Yeah, that's a problem.
So I was looking at ways to kind of help them. I think there used to be a lot more animals and horses in London and animals here. And I found in Morocco where there's more animals and stuff like that. You can love all this technology in your car and your phone, but it doesn't give you energy back. It will consume.
Absolutely.
If you have a horse or you have, like I know in Islam, horses are high up and feeding the animals and things like that. So I connected with people there doing that.
But you know, Rosie, even more superior to that is feeding the soul.
Yeah, the heart.
Yes, the soul and the heart, and ultimately it's getting that connection with the Creator. Because a person, these are all praiseworthy characteristics, looking after animals and people and bringing them together. That's fantastic.
A weave again.
Yeah,
it's a weavement of an atmosphere.
Absolutely. Ultimately speaking, however, Rosie, if our connection with God is not there, then eventually our relationship with other people will fall apart.
It's about taking time to check in with what makes you feel, I think.
With the Creator.
Yeah, with something.
Because He's the source, right?
Yeah.
You can have the world's most pristine and immaculately designed and technological toaster.
Yeah.
However, if it's not plugged into the source, we don't see the potential of that toaster.
I feel like in Morocco, I felt a lot of energy from the land, like where they pray. You feel the prayer. And
Yes.
I lived in Cambodia and Thailand for a little bit. And they pray to Buddha there every day with the blimps. And I feel the energy that they put in the water there in the Mekong River. When I go there, I can feel the pray in the water. So I think when you go around Morocco and they pray a lot.
Where do you think this energy comes from? Ultimately, what's the source of it?
It's a charge of your belief and the beauty that you experience.
Ultimately, all of our energy and the energy in our universe, is it dependent or independent?
I think it depends on what your soul memory calculates. So if you've been born into Islam, then you know the mosques, you know the Islamic art in your brain, so you remember the patterns. And for me, I wasn't used as a child seeing a lot of these patterns. So for me, I just see a lot of nature and horses. But also in Islam, you see a lot of horses and things like that as well. So it's things that are familiar that make you feel safe.
I absolutely get that, but bear this in mind, Rosie. With familiarity, it's important, the duality you were talking about, combine it with the truth. Because let's just say you were born and you're not familiar with the truth. Eventually, when you come across the truth, although you may not be familiar with it there and then, just like anything and everything else in life, eventually if you give said thing enough time, you will become familiar with it. And what better thing to be familiar with than something that's the objective truth? Do you see?
I see, but it's perspective. So, like like I like to learn, so I have a lot of friends that are Muslim and they're beautiful people, but also I have a lot of friends that are Buddhist. Sometimes I like to learn things from them and just calculate, but they all see the same sort of feeling, they all have big hearts. Again,
I'll give you an example, Rosie. The Prophet, peace be upon him's uncle, Abu Talib. Yeah, Abu Talib was a fantastic human being. Yeah, when his other family members let him down, he didn't let him down. Yeah, when people were looking to harm him, he didn't harm him. However, we believe that when he passed away, he didn't pass away as a Muslim. Why? Because he didn't submit to the will of God. But we can distinguish between if a person does good and bad things, like that's fantastic, and God will reward a person for that. But the truth has its own value, and the truth should be sought no matter what. You know what they say?
Seen, so like, I don't want to call it karma because it might trigger people, but say there's like a cat there and I feed this cat and nobody else see it, just me and this cat know that I feed it. And it says thank you to me, but it's going to say it in its vibration maybe. So the universe feels that and it sends you something. But no one else has to see it, it's just between you. That feeling that you know you've done it, so you vibrate it out. Like it makes you smile on your own.
But Rosie, another vibration if...
But it's all connected somehow.
Oh, absolutely.
That's what I mean.
No, I understand that. And it's nice when, for example, when we do something to someone or something and it's reciprocated in some form, even if it is through an energy, like a horse just kind of bowing his head to you or whatnot. But that's never gonna always be the case. And as human beings, we can transcend all of that, not requiring energy from transient beings. Because let's just say you rely upon a certain horse or a certain individual. Kullu nafsin dha'iqatul maut. Every soul must perish, taste death. That's a verse of the Quran. And these things must also perish. And the thing is, when you put your reliance upon these things, Rosie, ultimately they will perish. They will take your energy with them and they will leave you with a void of sadness. That's why ultimately the best way is for you to connect your energy and your source with the divine, and you connect yourself with a never-ending source that never dies.
Yeah, you believe a lot in life after death and things like this.
We believe in life before death. Life.
It's like a paradox, isn't it?
No, in the sense that, Rosie, we believe before we were in the realm of the souls.
Yeah.
Then we were put in flesh. Then we will be separated from that flesh, back up, and then whether we go to heaven or hell. But again, there is that realm as well. But what I'm saying, Rosie, is connection with God never ends. That energy source never depletes. However, the energy source that a person gets...
The spirit is just moving around. It becomes in the plants, it goes back to the sun, to the moon, and it transfers
it
around
does.
and it changes. And
let's just say that you take the energy from a horse, yeah? But the horse ultimately may die and then the energy goes to the grass.
I believe you become one with them.
Yeah,
When
the
you're on
circle
its
of
back.
life. Circle of
I had
life,
a
right?
horse for 20 years in Kent, and he died the year before I went to Morocco, so I love the Amazigh for...
You miss him?
Yeah, I went over there and every day I was sad. I just went and hugged the horse, drew them on the beach.
What was his name?
Oscar.
Oscar.
Yeah, and he was a big part of my life. I passed my driving test and never drove a car. I rode the horse everywhere. So when I went to Morocco, I spoke in their language, and I respected them for that. And we bonded there. You know, they're doing surfing. You're doing activities that feel good as a unit. And yeah, it was a nice feedback. So I don't have anything bad to say about it. I don't have anything like. I'm in the balance of it, you know. I just like to learn and listen to people and to grow.
Yeah, and that's absolutely fine, Rosie. And if you want to keep people together, you can, if you believe Islam to be true, you can accept Islam, but with the two witnesses that are there to witness you accepting Islam, you don't want everybody else to know, you can keep it under wraps. You don't have to announce it to the world. It's ultimately, it is a relationship between you and God. Two people are just witnesses. You can tell them to keep it to themselves, whatnot. But it is very important, Rosie, to establish your relationship with God. Why? Because in the long run, success in this world and in the hereafter.
I feel like I've had one all my life, just in my own way. Because if I was born into religion, I would only know that.
But Rosie,
you only know what you see and what you teach yourself, sensory-wise, memory-wise.
But Rosie, here's the thing. We do this when it comes to the religion, or I have my own interpretation of religion.
But I don't think it's a bad thing because it makes some people good people, and if they use that to be a good person in the world, then I respect and love them there.
But Rosie, even what's good and what's bad is subjective, right?
Yeah.
You see two people and they will claim to be attached to God, but again, they will think different things are good, different things are bad.
I want to say one more thing, I don't know, but it's like, I'm
Feel
an
free.
artist, so I live in my right brain. So when I go to Morocco, I can hear the frequency of the music and the art, and I can read it. And I find some people from the West is heavy left brain people, and they're not in their right brain. London is quite a left brain place. So when I find some people from the West join into Islam, they join it from, they're not in their right brain, like artists all the time. They're just left brain. So they join it just from the view of the Quran. But when you live in these places where it comes from and stuff like that, like for me, I don't read the Quran, but I understand the frequency of the music and the roots of the energy of it. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The art and the music and the feeling. But some people, they'll say, oh, Muhammad and da-da-da, and they're from the West, but they're drunk and they're only reading it from the left. They do not understand.
Yes.
So they say to me, I'm more like
Marry the both.
They say like I'm more like a Muslim, but I'm not a Muslim. But they're saying the way I don't drink and the way I like horses and all this stuff. But then they're saying they are a Muslim, but they're just reading it from the left
They've
brain
taken the
place.
left and they've neglected the right side of the brain.
Yeah.
You've taken the right side of the brain, but you're somewhat neglecting the left.
Yeah, but I think this is a big thing. If you
We
look
need
at
to
it as
marry
a
the
whole-
both.
Yeah, and if you do, because they're two parallels that are quite opposite physically from what I was saying earlier, there'd be a lot of good energy there. So
Yes, yes.
It's like weaving them where they match instead of repelling where they fight.
So here's what we say, Rosie. Initially, for us to understand the concept of God, that is done on the left side. Either for people that don't know what we're talking about, the left side is to do with numbers and logic and writing and rationality. The right side is to do with more the creativity aspect and the arts aspect. So for us to understand God, because the left side is more to do with objectivity,
that's
the
a good
right,
way to put it.
the right side is to do with subjectivity, and God and truth. There are certain things they are objective. So for us to get to know of God, we need to do that through our left side. However, then to worship God, we need to use the right side of the brain, because when we're standing in front of God and we're conversing, we're using the right side of our brain. We're using
feel,
our
and then the left
to
to
feel,
analyze.
to imagine, to connect. All these things are done on the right side. And absolutely, when we're talking about connection with the oneness,
But they are two different parallels, because your right side is almost out of time and your left side is sort of in time. So the two are kind of parallels within each person as well.
they are both hemispheres that make a complete human being. If they are brought together. And that's the thing, that when a person then there was a story done by, I think, the University of Mannheim in Germany. They did a study to do with oneness, and they ranked Muslims to be the highest in belief of oneness, and they linked belief in oneness with happiness.
But I wish they had more animals here.
Absolutely.
Because I love in Morocco, I felt so sad when I lost my horse. I just go sit in a cafe and all the cats would come. I go and feed the dogs. They would be there every day. They just say hello to me and come to the beach. And so
Rosie, London is a different type of jungle with a different type of animal.
It's an urban jungle. I was born here, so I know this.
Yeah.
I also suffered with some illness 10 years ago, so I fixed myself on my own. So I really respected Morocco for their medicine, for the shelves and shelves and
Yes.
bloodlines of
The
herbs.
tibbi medicine, the medicine that comes from the land.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I find there's also parallels outside the religion that we all connect to with the
Oh,
big
yes.
pharma, and each side has people that are addicted to both these things. So I look at this side of it as well, but I think that right brain charge is something that is really good for healing. So that is obviously linked to the God source energy and things.
Rosie, as long as, like, when we realize that we are more one hemisphere centric, either the right side or left side, we should focus on the other side and bring them both up.
Together.
Yeah, and balance them. May God allow us to do so.
Alhamdulillah.
And it was really nice speaking to you, Rosie, and hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
Yeah, thank you.
I know you said dyslexic, right?
Yeah.
So on the way out, they are handing out free Qur'ans. Now, however you feel it's easier for you, maybe reading might not be the best. There are audio books of the Qur'an as well.
I listen to Simo a lot in Morocco. I had a lot of the Moroccans translate They told me a lot of the stories from the Quran.
Okay, I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. But yeah, whatever mode helps you, feel free to do so. And maybe next time we can talk about the Quran if you're ever in the ends. Yeah? Thank you, Rosie. Thank you. I'm just going to take the microphone. Yeah?
Oh, yeah, forgot.
Thank you. Take care.
Thanks for the chat.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Yeah, brother. Might as well just give them to you, bro. Walaikum salam, brother.
Yeah, thank you, bro. All right, take the phone first. Oh, take the phone first.
It fell on the floor.
Okay, yeah, take it.
You playing football?
Play football?
Yeah. I'll put the tape for you, alright?
My husband over there. I